know if the cameras are rotating around, but I think I'm just going to move one to make sure. Yeah, that's the one that's working. And so we're going to just go ahead with that for a moment. And I'm going to get the Facebook up and going. And that's pretty much as the same way the YouTube was put up. And we had a show this afternoon, and Doug Vigil, let's see. And, oh my. Well, we're working on the billboard right now, and oh, that's because I'm working the wrong keyboard. Shame on me. Okay. See, we have a number of keyboards here, so shame on me. Now, let me post up the Saturday evening news, and let's go down one and push the right button on the right keyboard. Host Richard Slezak. That's me. And 3, 2, 1, start the Facebook broadcast. And got 828. YouTube and Facebook web broadcasting. Alrighty-us. I'm just going to go ahead and get our audition up and going. We're approaching the bottom of the hour, a good time to start. And with that, got to post up today's date in here, and that's July 28th. And we have some guests here in the studio. Actually, people out in the office, I just like to keep the door open. Makes for better air circulation. Okay, 8:29 p.m. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Slezak here. It is time for the Saturday evening news, and we'll get the cameras going at the right angle here momentarily. And got a number of things to bring to you this evening. One, why is there all that smoke in the air? Well, that's because there's been fires, and so we're going to go to the California Department of Forestry, and we're going to explain those fires as I keep the microphone close. So persevere with me while we get my little computer up here going. Oh my, I don't need a new tab. Okay, I need my Google too, so we can do a show. Uh-oh, it doesn't seem like the voice is coming through too well, and so I have my audition up and going, so we're going to make sure that we stay here on the mic. And let's see, is there anything else we can bring up here? And I'll make sure that This is the white mic, so want to make sure that we get good sound throughout the show. Alrighty. And today, I went to one of our sponsors. I took him an old drill, saw blades, jumper cables, and I took that to the Restore over at 4933 West Lane here in Stockton, California. It's done by Habitat for Humanity. And tools, equipment, building supplies, building materials, they're glad to take your old stuff. They'll turn around and sell it. It'll be, furniture as well. You can leave it with them. It's a donation. It can be a tax write-off. They'll turn around and sell it, and you're providing for your neighbor, for those who live in geographic proximity to you, through the Restore and helping recycle things instead of them going to a landfill. So that's the Restore, 4933 West Lane. You can buy the stuff and use it on your project at home or on a building. Hotel Furniture Liquidators, they're over at 1646 North Shaw Road. That's nearest crossroad is East Fremont, east of 99. Furniture for your home. The Miracle Mile Bookstore and Doors Book Recyclery here in Stockton. Oh, you know what? I need to angle a camera over this way. Sorry about that, folks. There I am. Howdy. And Doors Book Recyclery, they're 2210 Pacific Avenue here in Stockton. The Miracle Mile Bookstore is at 2210. Doors Book Recyclery is at 2310. They both sell books. You can sell books there. You can buy books and give them to friends, read them yourself, and have a wonderful time. And Custom Plastics and Signs, they're down at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Way here in Stockton. You can get materials to build your own plastic thing, rods, tubes, and sheets. They'll build displays for you. They'll fabricate things up. They got stencils and vehicle and boat graphics. They'll print up signs, yes, corrugated signs, corrugated plastic signs. They're at, again, that's at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. Millennium Computer Repair, Sarfraz Khan, on the road for you to fix your computer. Give them a call at 209-922-1879. They'll repair parts and software. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily, 1304 East Hammer Lane here in Stockton. Open 4:30 in the morning, and on Sundays 5:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. daily. T-shirt printing and business card printing, if you're up in Lodi, that's at Leaders, 500 East Garfield Avenue in Lodi. That's 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield in Lodi. Alrighty. So we're things have been mucho caliente here in Stockton. Not unseasonably warm, not unusually warm, but plenty warm. And we haven't had any rain for a while. And we sure could use some. Okay, let's see if there's any in the forecast. And whoops. We're using my very exclusive HP 15 computer. The Russians will probably come after it. I'm a very active Democrat in the lowest of elected offices. That is, I'm on the San Joaquin Democratic Central Committee, and next year we'll make 30 years of consistent occupancy of an office. So, yeah, I'm a politician. Ew! Yeah, and I also do a radio show and helping establish a station, basically. I'm one of the originals. So, yeah, it's called exercising the free press. If you don't exercise your rights, you're going to lose them. And we got to have an active free press. What do I bring? Facts. Facts, facts, facts. From there, we can reason. But first, we got to have the facts. And I like scientific facts and historic facts. So, what's going on in the scientific front? And we're going to give California a good look-see here. And it looks like over San Joaquin County and Calaveras County, we have a pleasant kind of blue, aqua green, and lordy, that is air quality alert, and that goes down the Sierras. And all the way down to the Kern County line. And then in the valley itself and over to the foothills, we look like we're having a heat advisory. Now in east Kern County, northeast Los Angeles County, and northern Ventura County, we look to be having excessive heat warning. And up in the North Valley, we have a red flag warning. That is Siskiyou and Shasta County. And now we're going to go over for a more local forecast. Again, this is for Saturday, July 28th. For those of you who will be hearing this on a rebroadcast. Okay, hazardous weather conditions is posted up for Stockton, and it's this is as of 8:20 p.m., which is just a few minutes ago. Humidity at 43%. Wind is 7 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. Barometer is at 29.83 inches of mercury. Dew point at 61 degrees. Visibility 4 miles. Heat index, it's 86 degrees, so heat index is right there. Tonight it looks like it's going to be clear with a low of 66. Tomorrow, hot with a high of 98. Sunday night, mostly clear, a low of 68. Monday, clear, hot with a high of 99. Monday night, mostly clear with a low of 67. Tuesday, hot with a high of 98. Tuesday night, mostly clear, low of 65. And Wednesday, hot, high of 97. Wednesday night, mostly clear, a low of 63. And so listing what we did here. And now we're going to go visit why it is so smoggy, why this haze, why this 4-mile visibility. And we're going to be finding the answers for that at the California Department of Forestry. And I don't know why they're having problems matching that up. It's a pretty commonly, well, just do the Google search And okay, we'll just go to fire.ca.gov, and here we are at CAL FIRE, and gonna scroll down the page some. Red flag warning in effect, increased fire danger. CAL FIRE is urging Californians to be extremely cautious, especially for the next few days. And we're at fire.ca.gov. The National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning. Then we have overexposure to the sun. Check your local UV index, which provides important information to help you plan your outdoor activities. Ready, set, go. It's about helping residents and their home for the possibility, prepare residents and their home for the possibility of wildfire. This is what's up here at their site. Firewood can harbor insects and diseases that threaten California's forest resources. Transporting firewood can move these pests to new locations. So learn more about the threats and what you can do. Debris burning safety and burn permit info. There's CAL FIRE grant opportunities as well. And so let us go to the newsroom, multimedia incidents, news releases, and links to current year historical incidents, social media, fact sheets, and oh brother, how about on incidents? Okay. Alrighty, yeah, here we go. Oh man, there's a lot of fires. Just looking at the 2018 statewide incidents: Del Norte, Trinity, Siskiyou 3 times, Shasta, Mendocino twice, Sonoma, Calaveras, Tulare 3 times, Riverside twice, Orange County twice, San Diego twice. Okay, current fire, Highway 299 and Carr Powerhouse Road in Whiskeytown, 83,800 acres, 6% contained, 5% contained, community of French Gulch. State Route 299 west of Trinity Mountain Road to the base of Buckhorn Summit. And wow, this covers a lot of area up there on 299. And evacuation info. All of Shasta Dam Boulevard, all of Shasta Lake City, Placer Road from Clear Creek Bridge to Clear Creek Road. So all areas south on South Fork Road from Zog Mine Road to South Fork Road. Evacuation centers: Shasta College, Simpson University, that's in Redding, and Trinity High School in Weaverville. That's a big fire, folks. That's 88,800 acres. And so that's about that's about 500 square miles. That's 10 by 50. The next next fire posted up. And that was as of 7:53 p.m., 8:42 p.m. River fire in Mendocino County, 9,000 acres, 5% contained. and that's in location is Old River Road near mile marker post 7.9 in Hopeland. Next fire is the Ranch Fire, also in Mendocino County off Highway 20 near Potter Valley, northeast of Ukiah. That's 3,500 acres. So that's about 6 square miles. It's 2% contained. And again, the River Fire also in that's Mendocino Complex, and that's 9,000 acres. So that's about 6 square miles. There's the Cranston Fire down in Riverside County. That's off Highway 74 and Control Road, east of Hemet. It's 13,100 acres consumed so far. It's 29% contained. Fire we're getting some smoke from Mariposa County, Highway 140 and Height Cove near El Portal. How sad. Acres burned 51,671. That's about 30 square miles up there. It's 30% contained. Oh my, pages and pages. We're going to be going through them. Again, that's as of 6:54 p.m. this evening. Continuing on a fire report. And we have 8:48. 8:48 p.m. and we're doing a fire report. Gonna tell, oh man, why we haven't, a lot of smoke. Now, here's not smoking up our valley, but San Diego County, 365 acres, 65% contained. It's west of Ramona on San Pasqual Valley Road. San Diego County, 225 acre, it's 10% contained. It's in the community of Fallbrook. That was as of 7:29 this evening. Tulare County, off Balch Park Road and Yoko Drive, northeast of Porterville. It's 125 acres, 80% contained. Now, those aren't smoking us up, but this one would be pumping a little bit of smoke our way because it's Lassen County off Whaleback Mountain Road and Antelope Valley Road west of Spalding. 3,500 acres and 5% contained. Down in the South State, Riverside County, Highway 74 and Ribbonwood Drive near Pinyon. 200 acres, 70% contained. And okay, back here in the North State, just over in Contra Costa County, definitely smoke us up at Marsh Creek Road and Bragdon Way east of Mount Diablo. Oh yeah, that sends smoke our ways. 247 acres, a third of a square mile. It was contained. Now, here's up in Shasta County. It's not big, though. Crestline Drive and Hunt Road, Montgomery Creek west of Bernie, 51 acres, 95% contained. Lassen County, Roxy Precom Campground west of Willard Creek, 10 miles west of Susanville. No, that's not putting smoke here. 167 acres, 90% contained. Napa County, now that puts smoke here, off Arroyo Grande Drive and Steel Canyon Road. It's 150 acres, 10% contained. Now let me do some engineering here. And that means go on over to Let's see, we have 2 microphones working here. Okay, yeah, things on the Edition are going fine. And on Radio DJ, what do we have? Radio DJ, things are going fine. Let's take a look up at the XSplit, and it seems to be going fine. All right, 8:51 p.m. You are web-tuned to the Voice of Stockton. Web radio, soon to be FM live radio for you. And we're doing community radio. I do a kind of a University of the Air style, and let me play with this. With the PP, View 4, okay, wait a minute. Edward,
yes, sir.
I could use your assistance. We're calling a guy who spends quite a bit of time here.
How's it going?
Can we get the camera up rotating to go to its 4 separate views?
You wanted to go to split 4? Show all
Not
4
the
cameras?
split 4, but just where it's sequencing one to another
yes.
to the other.
Yes, I can
Now
do that.
here's the.
Drag it down.
Okay.
Click this.
Oh, okay. Here's
That.
sequence. Bam.
Click this.
And go over to OK. Bam.
There you go.
Oh, I got
ladies
that
and gentlemen.
little. I got that little screen.
Oh,
What's that
that's
little
picture
screen?
in picture. That's all. Go to here.
Okay.
Go to view 1.
Alrighty.
And click. That should do it.
Okay.
And then just click down here. no, yeah, over here. Just get rid of the menu bar, and it'll go back to its regular rotation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if you click, the menu bar goes away, back to normal.
Oh, okay. Should I click it?
Yes.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thank you, Edward.
Now let me know if that works. If not, I'll fix it.
Okay. We're going to be experiencing some different views
Ooh, wait. Actually,
on the.
let me adjust this just a little.
All right.
Somebody put it in picture. That's why.
Uh-oh.
There. Now
Edward.
that shouldn't have any problems.
Okay. Thank you, Edward.
Yeah. Because
All
it
right.
was in sequence and it was already in picture. So even though you
Uh-huh.
take it to one frame, next
Okay.
frame goes right back. But now it's
All
just
right.
frame by frame.
Alrighty. Thank you, Edward.
No problems.
A little swing of the door there. Uh-oh. Don't want it too much. Okay. Alrighty. Back to fire report. And last fire on this page is down in Riverside County, and it was only a 10-acre one. Okay, let's see what else they have for us. And here's Tulare County. Oh, well, this is as of last week, so yeah, this is that was the horse fire. And anything else? Nope. Oh, righty then. And we're gonna go off a Cal Fire here. And let's see, that was at 8:51. Ed help on sequence XSplit and camera 1. Alrighty. Now we're going to go on to another government level, and this evening we're going to take a little trip over to the Department of Interior. Oh my. think it's doi.us.gov, and I guess, well, we'll be seeing. And protecting America's great outdoors and powering our future. U.S. Department of Interior protects America's natural resources. Okay, here we go. And we have 8:56 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. 56, and we're at Department of Interior. And we're just going to let you know what's here. Interior goes wild about urban areas. Interior announces region-wide oil and gas lease sale for Gulf of Mexico. Untold stories of Interior's heroes and happy Independence Day. Enter your email address to subscribe to Interior news and updates. We have Buffalo Soldiers Day and On the Road with Zinke. And under About, meet the Secretary, Bureaus, and for employees. Our priorities: American energy, jobs, regulatory reform, stewardship, tribal nations, resources, Cobell, land buyback, Deepwater Horizon, Hurricane Sandy, open government initiative, and strategic plan. And we also have things on open government, integrity of scientific and scholarly activities, Business USA, White House, No Fear Act, Inspector General, Agency Financial Report, Budget and Performance, Tribal Leaders Directory. And so let us go first to meet the Secretary. He has meet Ryan Zinke. Without a question, our public lands are America's treasure. And sworn in as 52nd Secretary of the Interior on March 1st, 2017, fifth-generation Montanan, former U.S. Navy SEAL commander. He was in the 114th Congress on championing sportsman's access, conservation, regulatory relief, forest management, responsible energy development, and smart management of federal lands. He grew up in a logging and rail town near Glacier National Park, has had lifelong appreciation for conserving America's natural beauty while honoring Teddy Roosevelt's vision of multiple use on our public lands. The Land and Water Conservation Fund in Congress is something he likes to renew, has been a firm advocate for our nation's sportsmen to gain access to our public lands with the SCORE Act and SHARE Act. Co-authored Resilient Federal Forests Act, which initiated new reforms for revitalizing America's timber towns and preventing wildfires by emphasizing a collaborative process. He's pledged to explore every possibility for safely and responsibly repealing bad regulations and using public natural resources to create jobs and wealth for the American people. Our treasured public lands are for the benefit and enjoyment of the people. I will work tirelessly to ensure our public lands are managed and preserved in a way that benefit everyone for generations to come. Most importantly, our sovereign Indian nations and territories must have the respect and freedom they deserve. I look forward to making the Department of Interior and America great again. It has 70,000 employees. They steward 20% of the nation's lands, including national parks, monuments, and we have 9:01 p.m. You are web-tuned to The Voice of Stockton and kxvs.org. That is thevoiceofstockton.org. I am Richard Slezak. We're on Facebook and YouTube as I speak. This is the Saturday Evening News. We're doing a report on the Department of Interior. National parks, monuments, wildlife refuges are what they have stewardship over. Development of conventional and renewable energy supplies on public lands and waters. It's the largest supplier and manager of water in the 17 western states, upholds trust responsibilities to 567 recognized American Indian tribes and Alaska Natives. And he was a SEAL for 23 years, holds a geology degree from the University of Oregon. He was an all Pac-10 football player there, has a master's in business finance from National University and a master's in global leadership from the University of San Diego. He and his wife, Lolita, have 3 kids and 2 granddaughters. He is an adopted member of the Assiniboine Sioux tribe at the Fort Peck Reservation. Adopted member. And let us go on to the Bureau, or the bureaus, of the Department of the Interior. And we have Bureau of Indian Affairs, Land Management, Ocean Energy Management, Reclamation, Safety and Environmental Enforcement, the National Park Service, Office of Surface Mining Reclamation and Enforcement, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Geological Survey. And the 9 bureaus, offices that fall under Office of the Secretary, Assistant Secretary for Policy Management and Budget, Solicitor's Office, and Office of the Inspector General. There's the Department of the Interior offices. And let us continue. Now, under our priorities is American energy as the first one. And so there's a lovely cityscape. It's of Chicago. American energy. Oh, okay. It's steward manager of America's natural resources, including oil, gas, clean coal, hydropower, and renewable energy sources. These create jobs and revenue, proper policies that can foster growth and local input, provides opportunities for new jobs and revenue for state, local, and federal and tribal governments. Onshore, department oversees 700 million acres of subsurface minerals, mostly through the Bureau of Land Management, permits, and Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation, and Enforcement regulations. Offshore, the department oversees oil, gas, and wind development through the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. On behalf of the Department, the Office of Natural Resources Revenue collects an average of over $10 billion in annual revenue, one of the federal government's largest sources of non-tax revenue. The Department of Interior will increase access to public lands and balance conservation with the unleashing of America's energy opportunities and removing burdensome regulations at the Department at the United States. At the Department, the United States will benefit from a stronger economy. And this is Interior, okay, press releases include Interior issues $188 million in energy revenues to fund conservation and storm preparation. There's Interior approves final 2 segments of Gateway West power line. And then let's look at jobs. That's one of their priorities here at the Department of the Interior. And working hard at Shenandoah National. Okay. Jobs. Department is responsible for the oversight and management of America's public lands, national parks, mineral resources, grazing lands, and more. Careful stewardship of resources that drives job opportunities and economic growth. Department creates jobs through our national parks and outdoor recreation. Visitors to our parks spend more than $16.9 billion in local gateway communities, supporting approximately 300,000 jobs, raising $11.1 billion in revenue and contributing $32 billion to the national economy. Bureau of Land Management facilitated the sale of timber on public lands, resulting in millions of dollars in revenue to the American people. Job-creating tradition continues today with competitive bid public sales offered by the Bureau of Land Management. DOI is committed to protecting and promoting the vast natural resources of the United States while helping to get Americans back to work. All righty. Let's look at regulatory reform. We're looking at the Department of the Interior. Let me look at a little bit of our computer operations going here. Let me know. Okay, good. Audition is recording well. And Slezak Radio is right up there prominent. And let's take a look at the radio DJ. Oh my, don't need that up there. And 3, 2, 1, bam. Yeah, 9:09 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. Richard Slezak with you, reporting to you on the Department of Interior. We're taking a look to see what they want us to know. And what their priorities are. So, regulatory reform. Since 1849, the U.S. Department of Interior has been working to maintain and preserve the nation's lands, waterways, and resources. Stewardship of America's natural resources is balanced with regulatory reform. President Trump's goal to reform regulatory requirements that negatively impact our economy and do little to protect the environment. Estimated that regulations in the United States have cost the economy more than $2 trillion in recent years that could have been spent on conservation, infrastructure, and jobs. Department of Interior, okay, that's from Resources, Regulatory Reform Implementation, and Executive Order in Reducing Regulation and Controlling Regulatory Costs. Oh my, they'll ensure common sense regulations reflect advances in science and technology and foster innovation and economic growth. Okay. Stewardship is their fourth priority. And Donald Trump said we have to be great stewards of this land. This is magnificent land. DOI touches more American lives in more ways than any other federal agency, managing 1/5 of the land in the United States. Stewards of this public trust manages America's public lands for multiple uses, ensuring these lands available for recreation, job growth and creation, and responsible energy developments, following in the example set forth by President Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "We have fallen heirs to the most glorious heritage a people ever received, and each one must do his part if we wish to show that the nation is worthy of its good fortune. We'll continue to fulfill this mission so that generations to come may enjoy the diversity of our lands that are uniquely American." Alrighty, let's go to tribal nations. And this is EMS Indian CC. Okay, the department is committed to tribal prosperity and to helping address challenges in the areas of economic development, education, and law enforcement. The department that supports Indian self-determination to ensure that tribes have a strong voice in shaping federal policies that directly impact their ability to govern themselves and provide for the safety, education, and economic security of their citizens. The department provides services directly or through contracts, grants, or compacts to 567 federally recognized tribes with a combined service population of approximately 1,900,000 American Indians and Alaska Natives. Okay, resources. Cobell land buyback. The Cobell settlement was approved by Congress on November 30th, 2010. It's the Claims Resolution Act of 2010 and signed by President Obama. This is 8 years ago. $3,400,000,000 Cobell settlement includes a $1,900,000,000 trust land consolidation fund and a $1,500,000,000 direct payments to class members. It resulted in several notable outcomes. Land buyback program for tribal nations to implement the land consolidation provisions of the Cobell settlement, provided $1,900,000,000 in trust land consolidation fund to consolidate fractional land interest across Indian country. The National Commission on Indian Trust Reform, as part of President Obama's commitment to fulfilling this nation's trust responsibility to Native Americans, the Secretary of Interior named 5 prominent American Indians to a commission to undertake a forward-looking comprehensive evaluation of Interior's trust management of nearly $4 billion in Native American trust funds. Individual settlement payments. Those were one time to anyone who had an individual Indian money account any time from approximately 1985 through 2009, or had interest in land held in trust or restricted status by the U.S. government as of September 30th, 2009. Okay, Indian Education Scholarship Fund, the settlement created that to defray the cost of attendance at both post-secondary vocational schools and instructions of higher education. And then Deepwater Horizon. See, this is kind of old news. This is kind of the history of what they were doing, and kind of a glossy little one-pager on explaining things. April 2010, two of the largest endeavors are the Deepwater Horizon Natural Resources Damage Assessment and Restore Act implementation. It was conducted by the Trustee Council, has determined the nature and extent of injury to our nation's natural resources caused by the spill and the kind and amount of restoration needed to restore the Gulf to the condition it would have been if the spill had not occurred. On April 4th, 2016, District Judge Carl Barbier approved a historic $20 billion, $800 million global settlement agreement with British Petroleum, the party he ruled as primarily responsible for the oil spill. BP will pay the trustees up to $8.8 billion for restoration to address injuries to natural resources. Funds will be used to implement trustees' programmatic damage assessment and restoration plan and programmatic environmental impact statement. The settlement also includes $5.5 billion in Clean Water Act penalties. As required by the Restoring Act, 80% of those funds will be directed to Gulf restoration as determined by the Restore Council members. And now open government, okay, Hurricane Sandy. We have 9:19 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. Heading into the home stretch, last 10 minutes. Here's Hurricane Sandy posting at the Department of Interior. Is investing $787 million for Hurricane Sandy recovery to clean up and repair damaged national parks and wildlife refuges, restore and strengthen coastal marshes, wetlands, and shoreline, connect and open waterways to increase fish passage and improve flood resilience, and bolster local efforts to protect communities from future storms. These investments have the dual benefit of providing jobs while making communities more resilient to future storms and sea level rise. Interior is also supporting the development of new science to better understand impacts of storms and sea level rise on coastal ecosystems and help managers respond and adapt to changing environmental conditions. We are working to evaluate the performance of projects to enhance ecological resilience through the Department of Interior Hurricane Sandy Project Metrics Report. We are also working on an effort to measure Department of Interior Hurricane Sandy projects. There's been a few hurricanes since then, Department of Interior. And what about FEMA? How about them? And program our outcomes with the latest development of Socioeconomic Metrics Report. More than 4 years since Sandy, DOI bureaus have been investing in hundreds of projects throughout the Atlantic coast, working with partners to stabilize beaches, restore wetlands, and improve hydrology of coastal areas. These efforts help protect local residents from the next big storm while creating jobs, engaging youth and veterans, and restoring habitat for wildlife. And yeah, there's a response web map. And oh yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, all the way up into New Hampshire and Maine. Okay, now here's Open Government Initiative. We got 921 here at the Voice of Stockton. And got an Interior Open Government Plan V3, V2, and V1.1. Now, assembled a multifunctional team from across our department to develop Interior's Open Government Plan. In addition to meeting all of the requirements for Open Government Directive, Interior's Open Government Plan seeks to create better relationships between government and citizens, enable DOI to understand citizens' demand for service more clearly and be more responsive to their needs, increase the rate of innovation by leveraging public knowledge, increase DOI's ability to meet its mission more effectively and efficiently by transparently engaging in public in decision making, encourage the development of open government programs. If you have feedback, please send to open@jobs.doi.gov. And here's the strategic plan for the Department of Interior. Let's see, we have hunters, an oil well at sea, a buffalo, the Grand Tetons, some Native Americans, a dam on a river, a guy fishing off, looks like in Maine. Okay, we have, oh wow, it's like a PDF. And letter from the secretary, mission organization, vision, history, strategic plan framework, description of mission areas, conserving our land and water, utilize science and land, water, species, and habitat management supporting decisions and activities. Goal 2, manage water storage and delivery to resolve conflicts and expand capacity. Goal 3, foster partnerships to achieve balanced stewardship and use of our public lands. 4, inform land use planning processes, especially for public use and access. Mission Area 2, generating revenue and utilizing our natural resources. Goal 1, ensure energy and economic security for America. 2, ensure access to mineral resources. 3, ensure public receives fair market value for resources and recover costs where appropriate. 4, focus timber programs on healthy forest life cycle. 5, manage grazing resources. Whoops. And continuing, Missionary 3, expanding outdoor recreation and access. 1, expand hunting, fishing, and other recreation on Department of Interior lands and waters. 2, enhance public satisfaction at Department of Interior sites. Mission Area 4, fulfilling our trust and insular responsibilities. 1. Support tribal self-determination, self-governance, and sovereignty. 2. Fulfill fiduciary trust. 3. Strengthen economic and health capacities in the U.S. territories and fulfill U.S. compact obligations to the freely associated states. Mission Area 5, protecting our people and the border. Goal 1, ensure emergency preparedness and Department of Interior law enforcement staffing addresses public safety risks. 2, support securing our southern continental U.S. border. 3, manage wildland fires to reduce risk and improve ecosystem and community resilience. 4, provide science to safeguard communities from natural hazards. Mission Area 6, modernizing our organization and infrastructure for the next 100 years. 1, align Department of Interior organizational structure and workforce to improve partnership engagement and mission delivery. 2, reduce administrative and regulatory burden. 3, prioritize Department of Interior infrastructure needs and reduce deferred maintenance backlog. And then Appendix A is acronyms, and it's 48 pages long. And we're getting to the end of our hour here. Let me check and see about our 927. That covers the high points of the website that we've been at the Department of the Interior. And let me just, I'm over here checking the computers. And we're going to, okay, just go back through and mission and organization, strategic plan. Okay, and that was at 927, strategic plan. All right. And that is about it for our show this evening. And let me just wrap back up. We met the secretary, went over the bureaus, and went over the priorities. American energy, jobs, regulatory reform, stewardship, and tribal nations. Read about some of the history of what they've been doing. Not much under the the Trump administration, and we do know about their strategic plan. So that's an insight onto the Department of Interior and what direction they're taking us. They sure did tell us, and they didn't hide it. So we got 929 here at the Voice of Stockton. It sure has been a pleasure being with you this Saturday evening, informing you about our government. And with that, we're going to bid you adieu for a future broadcast. Thanks for listening in, and shop at our sponsors. And continuing to march here at the Voice of Stockton, I'm going to just get some station IDs going up here. And, what I can do for the folks on the Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to be clicking you out. I learned a new way of doing it this past week, so whoops.